Las Vegas has made a cold, calculated move, a move that signals it no longer needs the everyday visitor. The $2.3 billion MSG Sphere wasn't built for you, it was built to distract you. Behind the neon spectacle, the spirit of this city has dimmed. Once upon a time, Vegas sold the American dream, the idea that a truck driver or a school teacher could arrive with a modest budget and feel like royalty. You could sit at a table, sip a complimentary drink, and feel like you belonged. That version of Vegas is gone. It didn't fade away naturally. It was deliberately replaced. What stands now is a corporate machine engineered to squeeze maximum profit from the global elite, while treating the average American guest as little more than an inconvenience. Over the past year, a quiet collapse has been unfolding. The Nevada Resort Association insists everything is fine, but that's a lie. Today, the gaslighting ends. We're exposing 7 undeniable shifts that prove this isn't chance, it's strategy. Hidden fees doubling your costs, casinos tilting the odds against the very people who built them, and numbers they hoped you'd never see. January 28, 2026, marked the breaking point. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority released its final 2025 report, 38.5 million visitors. Just a year earlier, that figure was 41.7 million. That's not a dip. It's a 7.5% collapse in a single year. Even with Allegiant Stadium and Super Bowl hype, Vegas hit its lowest traffic since the lockdowns of 2021. Dig deeper, and the picture worsens. Domestic travel slowed under inflation, but international visitors, especially Canadians and Mexicans who historically spend the most, didn't just decline, they disappeared. International visitation fell 13%. Mayor Shelley Berkeley admitted the truth. What was once a faucet of Canadian tourists had become a drip. Corporate PR will tell you this is post-COVID normalization, or currency fluctuations. Don't buy it. Losing 3.2 million people in 1 year isn't a cycle. It's rejection. It's millions of loyal customers looking at the greed, the fees, and the arrogance of what Vegas has become, and deciding they'd rather stay home. Part 2. The Price Paradox. If you glance at the billboards, you might think Vegas is finally offering deals. The official numbers even suggest it. The average daily hotel rate in 2025 dropped to $183.52, about 5% lower than the year before. RevPAR, the prized metric for hotel performance, fell nearly 9%. On paper, it looks like prices are easing. But the moment you swipe your card, the illusion disappears. Here's what really happened. On December 4, 2024, just before new FTC rules kicked in, MGM Resorts pushed through a sweeping hike on the one charge you can't avoid, the resort fee. Overnight, properties like Bellagio and Aria jumped to $55 per night. Caesars, Wynn, Venetian all followed suit. Now do the math the way a family of 4 has to at the kitchen table. That deal room advertised at $180, add the $55 resort fee, add $30 for parking that used to be free, add taxes. Suddenly, you're paying between $272 and $317 a night for a room that cost $160 total back in 2019. The corporations claim these fees cover perks like Wi-Fi or gym access. That's a smokescreen. The real purpose is to keep the advertised price low while pulling 60% to 87% more from your wallet than before the pandemic. You're being taxed simply for walking through their doors, and nothing captures this shift better than the disappearance of the $5 blackjack table. In 2020, there were 38 of them on the Strip, places where an ordinary visitor could sit down, sip a drink, and feel like part of the game. Today, only 6 remain. They weren't eliminated because they lost money. They were eliminated because casinos don't want a $5 bettor taking up a seat that could belong to a high roller. Vegas traded its soul for margin efficiency, and now they wonder why the rooms feel empty. Part 3. The Employment Mirage. This isn't just a set of numbers on a chart, it's a human story. Take Sebastian Espinosa, abuser at Caesar's Palace, who told reporters the harsh reality. I was thinking of buying a home. That's on hold for now as I continue to see money escape my pockets. Politicians call it stabilization. Workers call it the Trump slump, blaming political rhetoric for scaring off the international tips they depend on. Whatever name you give it, the outcome is the same. The official graphs point downward while the bread lines grow longer. Leaders celebrate a stable economy, but the people pouring drinks and cleaning rooms are being erased. Part 4. The Housing Time Bomb. If casinos are the beating heart of Las Vegas, housing is the skeleton holding it together, and right now, that skeleton is cracking. For 3 years, real estate agents insisted this wasn't 2008. They said lending standards were stronger, inventory was tight, and California migration would keep prices high. They were wrong. January 2026. Data is chilling, a mirror image of the conditions that preceded the Great Recession. Active listings have surged 30% year over year, with more than 7,500 homes sitting unsold. Median days to pending has jumped 43%, showing the market has frozen. The math is brutal. The average hospitality worker earns $47,000 annually, while the median home price hovers near $470,000. That's a 10-to-1 ratio, impossible for the people who keep this city running. Sellers are panicking. In November 2025, over 63% of homes sold below asking price. The bidding wars are gone, and power has shifted violently. Even Zillow, usually optimistic, has flipped its forecast negative, predicting a 1.2% decline in home values through 2026. What we're watching is the start of a classic feedback loop. Tourists stop coming, jobs disappear, workers can't pay mortgages, inventory spikes, prices collapse. We've seen this movie before in 2008. The cast is different, the script slightly altered, but the ending is familiar, and it doesn't end well. Part 5. The $600 million gamble. While neighborhoods brace for a crash, city leaders are doing what desperate gamblers always do, doubling down. On January 4, 2026, the LVCVA cut the ribbon on a $600 million renovation of the Las Vegas Convention Center. Steve Hill stood at the podium smiling for the cameras, promising that this $600 million renovation would deliver a world-class experience and secure Las Vegas's future. The bet is clear. City leaders are wagering that corporate expense accounts will rescue them from the collapse of leisure tourism. But here's the truth they don't say out loud. The timing couldn't be worse. They finished this massive project just as the global economy is slowing down. CES 2026 wrapped up with headlines of success, but the underlying numbers tell another story. The event was projected to generate $1 billion in economic impact, yet tech layoffs across the industry meant fewer attendees, fewer expense accounts, fewer dollars spent. And what happens when the recession hits in Q2 of 2026? Conventions are always the first thing corporations cut. For a CFO, the math is simple. Why send 50 employees to Vegas when a Zoom call costs nothing? The LVCVA is banking on 1.23 million convention attendees this year. If that figure drops even 20%, exactly what happened in past recessions, that $600 million project stops looking like an investment and starts looking like a stranded asset. And when the tourists don't show, the debt service doesn't vanish. It falls on Clark County taxpayers. Part 6. The Cruise Ship Exodus. For decades, Vegas had a monopoly on the American imagination. If you wanted to feel like a player, gorge yourself at a buffet, and watch a world-class show, you had one destination: the desert. The corporations knew it. They were the only game in town. But greed broke the contract with their customers. They killed the cheap buffets, eliminated the $5 tables, and started charging $30 just to park. While they were busy squeezing every dime, a new competitor emerged from the ocean: cruise ships. Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian, they're targeting the exact demographic Vegas abandoned, and they're winning. In 2025, Alaska alone reported $26.9 million in tax revenue from cruise ship casinos. That's money that once flowed into Nevada's coffers, now drifting away at sea. Why are people choosing a boat over the Strip? Because the math is simple. On a cruise, your food is included. Your Broadway-style entertainment is included. Your room is cheaper. And here's the kicker: Blackjack tables on these ships often have lower minimums than those on the Strip. Think about the choice. Pay $300 a night, plus a $50 resort fee, plus $30 parking to sweat in the desert heat. Or pay $150 a night to float in luxury with an ocean view and free dining. Vegas forgot a basic rule of economics. They're competing for your discretionary income. And right now, they're losing. Part 7. The Final Reckoning. They thought they could never lose, but by driving prices so high, they pushed away the very customers who built this city, and those loyal visitors aren't coming back. Part 7. The Political Suicide. This is the shift nobody in the boardrooms wants to admit, but everyone on the street already knows. Las Vegas didn't just raise prices, it alienated its base. It turned its back on the people who made it famous. When Mayor Shelley Berkeley pleaded with Canadians in September 2025, "We love you. We need you," it was too late. The damage had already been done. The Culinary Union calls it the Trump slump, pointing to aggressive rhetoric on tariffs and deportations as a key reason international visitors, especially from Canada and Mexico, are staying away. The numbers back it up. Canadian visitation alone is down more than 20%. That's a billion-dollar hole no marketing campaign can patch. But this goes deeper than international politics. By reshaping itself into a playground for elites and the global rich, Vegas turned its back on Middle America. The truck drivers, the blue-collar families who used to drive in from Arizona or Utah for a weekend of fun. When you charge $25 for a beer and replace the Cowboy Steakhouse with a $500 tasting menu, you're sending a message. This place isn't for you anymore. And they heard it. They stayed home. Now, as empty rooms and declining revenues pile up, corporations are learning the hard way. You can't build a sustainable economy by insulting the very people who built your city. So, is this the end of Las Vegas? No. But it is the end of the Las Vegas you once knew. Markets are ruthless. They always correct themselves. Right now, corporations are clinging to denial, holding prices high, praying whales will return. But if rooms stay vacant, if convention halls echo, if housing collapses, economics will force their hand. Resort fees will be challenged. Arrogance will be broken. It may take a recession. It may take a housing crash. It may take bankruptcies. But eventually, this city will have to remember who it serves. Until then, vote with your wallet. If you're tired of the fees, the greed, the disrespect, don't go. Share this video with anyone planning a trip. Show them the numbers. And if you want more investigations into the truths the mainstream won't cover, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next deep dive.